described.
Looks like folks are still joining.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, Steve.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Kay.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Where are you located, Kay?
I'm at home right now.
All right. What's all that up on the wall behind you?
That is just a background.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
It looks fascinating. That's really cool. It's like an empty room or a background? Oh, that's cool.
It's like a cube, like
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
in a cube.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. That's why it threw me. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
She doesn't want us to see what her house looks like.
Well, better than you looking at my kitchen cabinet. So.
Got it. Nice. Sean, I suspect that's a real background.
We'll go ahead and get started with the
right?
PUD committee on February 3rd. Tony, I don't have an agenda in front of me, so you're going to have to help me with that.
Hey, Kay, do you think you can help with the agenda for Pete?
Absolutely, yes. Hi, Pete.
Kay.
Everyone's here. And the only item on our agenda today is PUD 21-1, which is the preserve at Gray Eagle.
Okay.
And it's for consideration of the site plan and preliminary architectural drawing.
And we'll allow the petitioner to present. So Hardin, if you want to go with your team.
Great. Thank you very much. Good evening, members of the PUD committee. My name is Steve Hardin. I'm a partner in the law firm of Fager Drinker, representing the J.C. Hart team. With me from J.C. Hart is Todd May, and I believe Johnny Hart is on the line as well. And Randy Sherman, the J.C. Hart architect, is here. And I'm not sure if Andy Taylor looks like he's here as well. And then Mark Leach is here from our firm. Mark, you've got the slide deck to pull up. Let's see here. Okay, go ahead, Mark. So let me just give a brief background. Just for everybody, if you're not familiar, you probably have seen the staff report for the Plan Commission. So this project, I'll just give a kind of a short background. This has been in the works for over 2 years or so when the golf course owners announced back in 2018, 2019 that they were considering closing down the golf course. And the neighbors, the residents within the Gray Eagle neighborhood, instead of getting upset and angry about that, they said, well, why don't we think through some ideas of what we might be able to suggest to the golf course owners of what would be an acceptable redevelopment of a portion of the oversized driving range area at Gray Eagle Golf Course. Mark, it looks like you're having trouble with your screen. It's not loading or something. So they began looking at the 40 acres there at the southeast corner of 126 and Brooks School. Most driving ranges are anywhere from 8 to 12 acres, and so there was a lot of excess land on the driving range. So it was a resident-driven solution that was sought. And so they came through and eventually landed on an idea for an age-targeted multifamily development on the southern part of the range ground, which is what is before you tonight at the PUD committee as well as at the Plan Commission. Mark, I still can't see what you're showing. Do you want to ask Tony to maybe use the backup one that he has?
Or I could do it. This is Randy Sherman.
Okay, great. Thank you, Randy. You want to try to share your screen? Well, that was pretty fast, Randy. Thank you. So without further ado, we will, and so we've been working with the mayor, the city staff, the city council members, the golf course owners, the J.C. Hart team, and the HOA board from Gray Eagle. They had set up a special committee that looked at this and have been working on an idea and a plan for, over 2 years now. Randy Sherman, the team architect, lives in Gray Eagle. Todd May, the vice president for J.C. Hart, lives in Gray Eagle. Myself, I live in Gray Eagle. So all these people that are involved in this project are all people that have been really, residents and care about the community. And then the HOA, board and their leadership have been active all throughout this. And so we're very thankful of the mayor's leadership, the city council's guidance and leadership. So we thank everyone for that. And we're here tonight now at the, kind of bringing it all together. And I'm going to turn it over to Randy, if you want to walk through the three home residential types that you have and some overview of it. Go right ahead. Yep. You can back up there for a minute, Randy, if you want to. Let's just start at the beginning. That'll help orient everybody. Maybe some people may not have seen the Planning Commission packet. Yeah, just start there.
Okay. So what we have on the screen is the existing driving range for the Gray Eagle Golf Course, and we've delineated two areas. The yellow box indicates the proposed reduction to the new driving range section of this development, and then the red box would be the proposed residential portion of the development with the existing retention pond showing here. The golf course plays over here, existing golf cart storage here, and the existing clubhouse and parking lot here. And the proposed project is 155 residential multifamily units in a mix of 3 building types. As Steve had mentioned, we're parking at a roughly 2.5 per unit parking ratio. The project total investment's around $30,750,000, and we anticipate starting in winter of this year and completion early fall of 2023. This is the multifamily portion of the driving range development. The north edge here would be the driving range edge, and this is the existing entry drive off of Brook School Road into the clubhouse parking lot. It would link to the road that would have access from the south off of Brook School. This aligns with the school across the street at Brook School Road and would bring you into our main community center in the middle. We have a large garden style building in the middle of the site. This building is a mix of 3 stories stepping down to 2-story wings at the ends. Would have our clubhouse amenity in the middle, would have multifamily flats in the building, an elevator at each end of the building, and then large parking structures at each end. So we have 50 garage spaces in each end for the 100 units inside this building. Clubhouse would have the leasing area, the club room at the back, exercise room, public restrooms, and this would overflow into the amenity space outdoors with the pool and cabana areas at the back here. There's an outdoor television screen. We'd have a outdoor grilling area, an area for Wi-Fi and tables, bocce ball courts, and it overlooks a second retention pond that would be added to the northeast corner of the site. And then to help mass and step down grade, we would have along Brook School at the front of the site, wrapping the existing retention pond, 1.5-story attached town cottages that would be master down, loft space up, attached 2-car garages with 2-car guest parking and drives out front. And each of these units has a recessed covered outdoor patio space in the back and front porches on the front. And the goal here is to give a streetscape that feels like single-family homes to the street as you enter the site. And then at the back, south and east edges along the golf course, these are attached doubles that'll single-story, 2-bedroom den, 2 baths, again, attached 2-car garages with private drives for 2 guest parking and recessed balconies on the rear underneath roof lines. And the idea of the character is really to mimic the idea of an English Tudor clubhouse building for the main building. The central part of the building is 3 stories. We would arrive at a parking courtyard in the front of the building that would be like an English garden with hedgerows and a garden space in the center with a covered drop-off point, a lot like those old clubhouse buildings on some of the old golf courses. The units themselves will have outdoor screened-in or open porches. A lot of them have bay windows in their living rooms to allow them to look up and down the street and into the courtyard and green spaces that we're creating, as well as just directly out. And then the top floor units would have vaulted and volume ceilings in a lot of the living room spaces of these units. This is a view from the north entry drive heading south. This is the existing pond along Brook School Road. This is the proposed pickleball court. This is the 1.5-story townhome attached doubles with master down. And then the 3-story building, you can see how the grade starts to step down to 2 stories at its edges. The parking garages are tucked in to these sides, and then there's a green in the center of these parking garages that these units would overlook. This is the rear amenity space of the garden-style flats building. The clubhouse opens up at the back here to the amenity space. This is the southern entry along Brook School Road with the rear elevations of the attached townhomes with their recessed porches, and then the boulevard entry from the south. This is coming into that southern drive a little further so that we can see the fronts of the attached townhomes. And then in the background, you can see the garden-style flats building, and it's stepping down and massing again. So the goal is really to tie in with the neighboring context of single family. And then lastly, this is the single-story attached cottages at the south and east sides of the development and how they would look at the rear. And this is a photograph of the golf course in the background. So looking directly into the existing context and how these step down in height and fit in with the single family to the south. I think that's the last slide on the architecture.
Yep. Okay, you can go back to if you go back up to maybe to the concept plan there, yeah, that'd be great.
This one or one more back?
Well, wait, Mark Leach, are you still there? Mark? Not sure what happened to Mark. That was the, let's see, just go back up to your first slide.
Okay.
Not sure which way you're going. Yeah, I think you have the Plan Commission packet up, but that's okay. I guess we can open it up to any questions from the PUD committee. I know that we also have I think you have the Plan Commission packet up, Randy.
Okay.
The PUD committee packet has all the black and white drawings, and so if you're able to pull that one up, Randy, that would probably, we can kind of go through that to show those different material selections that you've included.
I also have it to pull it up. I can pull it up too.
Okay, that'd be great.
So this is the material board. I don't know if you want to cover this first.
Yes, that'd be great. So the slide that's pulled up now is representing the stone and brick material palette and then the proposed paint color for the trim and siding in this building, which would be the same color. This is a blow up of 1/2 of the front elevation of the Garden Flats building. This one is the attached towns, and we have 2 versions of this building elevation wise. So again, the proposed stone and brick combinations, and then same trim color, but 2 different siding colors that would be utilized to differentiate the 2 halves of the building as separate units visually. And this is elevation B of that building type with the stone and the proposed siding and trim colors of this building. And then this is the one-story cottages at the south and east sides of the site. Again, we have 2 elevation types for this building and 2 different color palettes and material palettes. This is option A. And then this would be option B. And these would be interspersed throughout the streetscape to give variety.
Thank you, Randy. Thanks, Tony, for being able to pull that up for us. And with that, we'd be happy to open it up to any questions anyone has.
Any questions from our PUD committee?
This is Sean. I've got a couple, a comment and a couple of questions. I guess the comment, I really like, just in general, I like the design. I like this reuse of the site. I think it's a perfect use for this area. And architecturally, I think looks like it, you know, it's great. I don't see any issues with the design of any of the buildings. Questions are a little hard. Questions are based on things that are a little hard to read at the scale of the site plan. So these might be addressed, but just kind of pointing out, if you can, Randy, maybe give me a answer or give some feedback on. One being, is there access to the golf course from the site other than just the drive, the entry drive at the north? I'm just picturing, someone wanting to go golf, having their own golf cart. How would they navigate to do that? Is there a path, a golf cart path that meanders through, or are they driving on the street? Or are they driving on, the multi-purpose path that, other residents would be walking on?
So Sean, is your question specifically for people that live within the multifamily development using a golf cart?
Yeah.
Todd or Johnny, do you have a response to that? I'm not thinking you were anticipating a tenant having golf carts and using them within the development.
Sean, it's Todd May with J.C. Hart.
Yeah.
If there was someone that had a cart, they would have to go check in with the golf course, and they would have to. There's no shortcut directly to the first hole. They'd have to go to the clubhouse.
Okay, so what I was getting at is, how are they getting the golf cart from their cottage over to the clubhouse? Is there a path dedicated for golf carts?
No, we've not done that. I mean, the course has carts themselves, and so that's a main revenue source for them.
Okay.
I think it's something we'd have to work out, but they would have either or. They would have to check in with the course and pay a cart fee if they had one or didn't.
Okay, and seeing as this is a rental product, I'm guessing there wouldn't be as many with golf carts anyway, just in general. The other thought I had, and this is more just kind of an observation thought, is with Brook School Elementary being right across the street, and it looks like you've got sidewalk leading to to Brook School Road, just making sure that path is a nice path all the way across, and if it's a matter of adding the striping across the street, because I can picture some of the residents that live here volunteering at the school, when the schools are allowed to have volunteers in, and being a perfect opportunity for them to walk or ride a bike over there, not having to get in their car. Any opportunity to be able to do that, I think would be a great asset to not only to the residents but also to Brook School Elementary. And then my final observation, and this comes out of a comment that came up in last week's 2040 plan discussion, was in regard to obviously you've got sidewalks kind of winding through the entire neighborhood. Curious on the dimension from the interior side of the sidewalk, so the side closest to the building, to the garage, just wanting to make sure that there's enough depth between the back of the curb and the garage that vehicles can actually park without overhanging the sidewalk space, because that becomes an issue with people walking on the sidewalk, and then people start walking in the street because it's more convenient, and this becomes a cluster if those driveways are too shallow in terms of depth. And it looks like you've got plenty of depth. I just wanted to kind of make that as an observation to point out.
Thanks, Sean. Any other questions from our PUD committee?
I don't have anything. This is Megan. I think it's an incredible reuse of the plan, and I've really enjoyed working with everybody and my limited involvement on the project. And as someone who lives near here, I agree with everything that Sean has said about the fit and it meeting the character of the area. So I think I'm definitely supportive of it.
And again, from my standpoint, this is Pete Peterson. I'm thoroughly in favor of this project. It's been a long time coming, and I give a lot of kudos to the residents of Gray Eagle, the J.C. Hart folks, Todd and John and Steve, certainly your help over there in Gray Eagle, and the mayor and his staff and Brad Dreamer on the council. So I'll entertain a motion if someone wants to make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Megan.
I will second that.
Sean seconds. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
It passes. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Tony, do we have anything else on the agenda? Okay. Seeing nothing else on the agenda, I will go ahead and adjourn the meeting, and we will restart at Planning Commission at 6 o'clock.
Everybody.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
Thank you.